guys, we have a latest news that US has attacked Nigeria, or not just totally Nigeria, but US attacked ISIS in Nigeria, Islamic State. So I thought Islamic State was over, but now we see that ISIS is back, and it is also back in Nigeria, because previously we used to hear about ISIS in Syria, and that was the main spot there. But after a lot of bombings and lot of attacks, it was taken out of it. But now it is back in Nigeria, and what is happening, and how did US attack there? Because US and Nigeria are too far away. So how did that attack happen? Let's watch this.
So where exactly did the US military just strike inside Nigeria, and how did they pull it off from hundreds of miles away? First, let's talk about the location. The strikes hit Sokoto State, right in the northwestern corner of Nigeria. This is a critical area because it borders the country of Niger. Security analysts have identified the specific targets as camps belonging to ISIS-affiliated militants. These are likely Islamic State, Sahel Province, or a locally affiliated group known as La Karala. Why here? This region is seeing a dangerous shift. Extremist groups are moving down from the Sahel, specifically from Mali and Niger, into northwestern Nigeria. But the real surprise is how they did it. Unlike the drone strikes we often see in other regions, this operation relied on heavy naval firepower. The U.S. Navy launched Tomahawk cruise missiles, long-range precision weapons. These missiles were fired from a U.S. Navy warship positioned all the way down in the Gulf of Guinea, off the southern coast of West Africa. The operation was conducted by U.S. Africa Command. Crucially, both the Pentagon and the Nigerian Foreign Ministry confirmed that these strikes were carried out with the approval and intelligence support of the Nigerian government.
Government allowed this.
The Nigeria war started. To understand this, we have to look at how this country is divided into Muslims
and Christians.
The northern part of Nigeria is predominantly Muslim, with approximately 50 to 55% of the population adhering mostly to Sunni Islam. While the southern and southeastern regions are majority Christian, comprising about 45% to 35% of the population. Boko Haram, an Islamist militant group, is primarily based in northeastern Nigeria, specifically in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. This group adhered to ISIS strategy and will eliminate everyone, whether Muslims or Christian, that does not follow their rule of law. Sadly, most of the victims are their fellow Muslims brothers too.
They are killing mostly Muslims.
Boko Haram's strongholds are mainly found in northeastern Nigeria and the surrounding Lake Chad region, which stretches across the borders of Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. Among the most significant strongholds is the Sambisa forest in Nigeria. This vast remote forest has historically served as Boko Haram's primary headquarters and training ground, providing a concealed base for planning attacks and sheltering fighters. Another critical area is the Lake Chad Islands. These swampy, difficult-to-access islands offer natural cover, making them ideal hideouts for militants. They function as logistics hubs and supply depots, allowing Boko Haram to move men and material across borders with relative ease. Further, the rugged terrain of the Rosa Hills along the Nigeria-Cameroon border acts as a strategic fallback zone.
So they are in a safe space.
Camps and lookout posts using the landscape to evade military operations. Finally, around the town of Bama in Borno State, Boko Haram has established logistical and command centers. This area plays an essential role in coordinating their operations and sustaining the insurgency in the region. But why is the Nigerian government unsuccessful in defeating Boko Haram?
That is the main question.
They face various problems, from lower budgets, manpower, to geography. The group operates in remote, difficult terrains like forests and swampy Lake Chad Islands, which are hard for the military to access. Nigeria's armed forces often struggle with outdated equipment, poor training, and logistical issues, limiting their effectiveness.
They don't have that much money.
Intelligence gathering is difficult because Boko Haram uses guerrilla tactics and small-scale attacks to avoid detection. Additionally, poverty, unemployment, and weak governance in the northeast allow Boko Haram to recruit easily, with some communities mistrusting government forces due to corruption and previous abuses.
But the main question that I have is, why is US helping Nigeria? Because we have heard Donald Trump doesn't want to get involved in other countries' issues, and he always wants to stay away from it. Then why is he involving himself in this?
Group's cross-border operations require regional cooperation, which is often slow and complicated by sovereignty concerns. Human rights concerns and security force abuses have also eroded public trust, making it harder for the government to gain community support.
So then public
is
just
look at how the US would go about targeting Boko Haram. First, they'd establish naval and air dominance. A naval task force made up of aircraft carriers, destroyers, and amphibious ships would position itself in the Gulf of Guinea. From there, they provide air cover, launch precision strikes, and be ready to quickly deploy troops wherever they're needed. Next comes intelligence gathering. Using satellites, drones like the MQ-9 Reaper, and signal interception, the U.S. would keep constant watch on Boko Haram's movements, strongholds, and communication, giving commanders real-time awareness of the battlefield.
US is doing
They
better
also work
job
closely
than
with
Nigeria.
and neighboring countries to coordinate security along borders, share intelligence, and conduct joint operations that make it harder for Boko Haram fighters to slip across borders. The weaponry, cruise missiles like Tomahawks would launch from naval destroyers and submarines to take out key Boko Haram bases and supply depots. At the same time, stealth fighters like the F-35 carry out airstrikes on command centers, minimizing collateral damage. Special forces would roll out in coordination with Nigerian and regional troops to conduct precision raids, capture or eliminate Boko Haram's leadership, and help train local forces to better fight the insurgency. Finally, disrupting Boko Haram's logistics, especially in challenging terrains like the Lake Chad Islands and Sambisa Forest, would be vital. Cutting off their supply lines and making movement difficult would severely weaken the group. Together, this multi-layered approach combines America's advanced military capabilities with regional partnerships to systematically break down Boko Haram's strength, reduce their recruitment, and help restore stability in the region.
And this is good.
For the U.S. to completely dismantle Boko Haram, they would need Marines and boots on the ground. The strategy involves deploying a ship capable of carrying Marines, tanks, and armored vehicles close to the shore using these hovercraft. These hovercraft traverse water, beaches, and difficult terrain, delivering troops where traditional landing craft or aircraft can't go.
But I don't think the US will involve its own troops to fight them, because that will mean their troops can also be killed.
Like what are the troops?
Like the army people.
Army, yeah.
Now what they are doing is just sitting outside and just throwing missiles. That is okay for them. But to throw their own army men, and if they get killed, then there will be a lot of people in USA.
That will be too much involvement.
Yeah, and people in USA will also not like this. That why are you doing this?
Secure beachheads and push inland to clear urban areas and complex battlefields. Missions impossible without boots on the ground. The strength of amphibious forces lies in their seamless integration of ground troops, tanks, helicopters, and F-35 fighters, working together to suppress enemy resistance and maintain momentum. Hovercraft add tactical flexibility by bypassing coastal barriers and carrying heavy vehicles air transport can't handle, allowing forces to strike where the enemy least expects. Once ashore, amphibious forces conduct sustained operations backed by naval gunfire and air support, stabilizing captured areas and protecting civilians. Their operations follow a disciplined rhythm: planning, embarkation, rehearsal, movement, and swift action, transforming sea power into lasting ground control. While aircraft carriers dominate the skies, amphibious warships bridge the gap from sea to land, turning devastating airstrikes into
a triple attack
and enduring influence. Only with this combined capability can true victory and peace be achieved. With the brute force multiplier of these hovercraft, let's take a look at how they change the tide of the battlefield. U.S. Navy hovercraft, specifically the landing craft air cushion and its upgraded counterpart, the ship-to-shore connector, revolutionize
they can go
amphibious
both on
warfare
sea and
with
land.
speed and versatility. These hovercraft can travel at speeds over 40 knots, about 46 miles per hour, far quicker than traditional landing craft, drastically reducing transit time from warship to shore.
It's better than the ship.
Their unique air cushion design allows them to glide seamlessly over water, beaches, marshes, ice, and difficult terrain, places where conventional boats cannot operate. This ability opens access to roughly 70
They cannot go on the land, but they can just stay there properly.
Vastly expanding potential landing zones beyond the limited 17% reachable by older landing craft.
They can go
Hovercraft
more
can carry
inside.
60 to 75 ton payload, enough for one M1 Abrams tank or multiple armored vehicles and several dozen troops, making
It
them
can carry a
invaluable for
tank.
rapid deployment of heavy forces ashore. Their capability to bypass natural obstacles like reefs, mines, and mudfloods ensures that forces land where enemy defenses are weakest or least expected, enhancing tactical surprise.
Oh, wow.
Very
Thanks to the
strong
speed and
that
terrain
way.
flexibility, hovercraft enable amphibious forces to launch fast, over-the-horizon assaults, sometimes deploying from 20 to 50 miles or more offshore, significantly increasing ship survivability by operating beyond enemy missile ranges. Operations using hovercraft change the battlefield by allowing swift buildup and sustainment of combat power ashore, combined with naval gunfire and air support, maintaining momentum and overwhelming the enemy before defenses can react. In the age of drone warfare, a giant ship like the Wasp class, a floating airport, faces new vulnerabilities. Even a simple $20,000 Iranian drone has the potential to wreak havoc on its platform.
Oh.
To resist such threats, these ships are armed with multiple defensive layers designed to counter attacks from every angle. At the bow and stern, the RIM 116 rolling airframe missile launchers rise above the starboard side superstructure, offering clear lines of sight and rapid interception capability against incoming missiles.
Wow.
Midway along the ship on both port and starboard
So it's
sides,
protected
the
on all
RIM-7
four
sides.
Sparrow
Yes.
missile launchers work in tandem with their fire control radars to provide broad coverage against aircraft and missile threats. Failing systems protects the superstructure and are found forward and aft of the ship. Some Wasp-class ships feature a third amidships, ensuring that defensive fire overlaps and every sector remains covered.
Oh, wow.
Mark 38 machine guns sit at the edges and corners of the hull, their elevated open deck mounts giving them a wide field of fire to engage fast boats or drones approaching from any direction.
I have to say that this is the most commendable thing about USA, that it involves itself in more and more peace operations, because the world will try to shout whenever US does a wrong thing, and they will say that the US is always doing these things and they are wrong, but they everyone just avoids whenever US does good things.
Yeah.
Because this ISIS we have seen previously, when ISIS was very big and they were beheading people and they were creating havoc everywhere in the world, so everyone was very, very angry with them. But now we see that they are rising again and again, so US is making sure that they don't rise at all. And all the other world, even India, is just sleeping and just waiting. Okay, but if something bad happens, then we will awake and then we will be like, oh, what is happening? And in this way, US is very, very proactive.
And this just shows that how much all the countries are relied on the power of the USA, because here we saw that how they were protecting them. And also I have this one question, that is it like ISIS have moved from the Middle East to to the Africa or something, or it already
because-
existed over there?
Because it was there in Syria, but they were being killed again and again.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think so they might have moved here and there and formed some small parts of power. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.